I was born in New York City, and my family moved to Forest Hills. On my mother's side, I'm Jewish, and on my father's side, I could say I'm a Russian-Italian, Jewish-Russian-Italian. I was about 5 years old. My mother said that I was very, demonstrative, and she took me for little singing classes and tap dancing. So I think it started, very early, my desire to do something in acting. But then it washed away again until about 23. I was very unsatisfied with normal, work, and I was yearning to do something creative, so I immediately started taking acting classes. There was a wonderful friend, Mary Jo Slater, whose son is Christian Slater. She was a very big casting director in New York, and she would put me on as under fives on One Life to Live, and then on Love of Life, and then Edge of Night, and I played Angelica for a week on that soap opera. The film really at that time didn't take off. It was years later that the children that saw it when they were 11 years old, 14 years old, that became young adults, it was that generation that really fell in love with the horror film Sleepaway Camp, and it took off. I would say at the beginning when it came out, I did get recognized a lot, and people had the weirdest, response. They would see me in the street, I really couldn't believe it, but they would scream. I used to get so frightened thinking that, that someone was behind me, or they saw something that I didn't see, but actually they were screaming because they recognized me in the character. So I guess for the first year or two after that, people would recognize me. It was very good for my ego, but it was the way they went about it that frightened me. And then it was years later that people would come over to me when they grew up, and they would say, "Aren't you Desiree? Didn't you play Aunt Martha in Sleepaway Camp?" I was so overwhelmed. I had stopped acting in between that, and I decided to go into something else, and I was selling real estate for Douglas Elliman. So I did that for years. And you came along, Dave. I saw her as being battered, very insecure, fighting for the love of her son. She was a little bit stressed and distraught because she's on these painkillers because her husband hit her and she's now using a cane. And her son was conflicted into believing the father over the mother, and I was trying to seduce him or induce him to come home because I knew what his father was. You never stop being an actress. I never stop being dramatic. I never stop being theatrical. I'm always a ham. I'm always on. I don't mind doing eccentric. I don't mind doing anything as long as the script, reads well. I like reading the script over and over and over again, and I'm absolutely intense on several rehearsals. Oddly, Sleepaway Camp and this film, there was not time in film to do that many rehearsals, so by myself I went over the role and over the role. You just read it, and things come to you sometimes very quietly by osmosis, and you try to do emotional recall with other things that have happened in your life, and technique that will bring out, some of the character. I would never ever turn down something decent that was good. I would be excited to do it.